I, Georgie, am Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
What is up, guys? This is Andre Espinosa Reviews, and time again for another episode of Getting to Know a Horror Movie Icon, wherein we are going to talk about and get to know a horror movie icon. And today we are going to talk about and get to know the shape-shifting monster It, which is popularly known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, although Pennywise is just one of the many forms of It. It was a creature from an unknown realm outside the regions of space. When It came to planet Earth to feed, the creature would disguise itself as a colorful circus clown named Pennywise, which is played by actor Tim Curry, or morph into any other being it pleased. It preferred to attract children so it could capture and kill to devour them. It liked preying on innocent human children because they were easier to scare. According to the creature, frightened flesh tastes better. That is why the creature, most of the time, would disguise itself as Pennywise the Dancing Clown to attract children. A monster of unknown origins, It originated before the creation of the universe itself, in a dimension that it refers to as the Deadlights. A person would only be able to see its true form by looking into its eyes, but its true form was never revealed in the movie. Although Bill comes dangerously close to seeing the Deadlights after looking into its eyes, he saw the shape behind the shape for a brief moment. He described the sight as an endless, crawling, hairy creature made of orange light. It adopted a cycle of hibernating for long periods and awoke approximately every 27 years. Its awakening was always marked by a great act of violence, and another great act of violence ends its spree and sent it back to hibernation. Here are some of its powers and strengths. Number 1. Shape-shifting. It could immediately transform itself to any kind of being and took the frightful image directly from the victim's mind, regardless of the size or nature. Between shape-shifting, It was an orange amorphous goo, which was somewhat close to its true form. Number 2. Partial invisibility. That was clearly stated in several cases, notably when Beverly encountered Pennywise at the house where she used to live, or when Richie encountered It in the public library, which suggested that only those who could see It were those who actually believed or had the knowledge about its existence, although It could become fully invisible to anybody when it was necessary whenever it chose. Number 3. Illusions. It could create many different illusions which were actually real. Those illusions included balloons floating against the wind, moving photographs, blood gushes and streams, and small but shocking entities. The partial invisibility ability fully applied on all of those illusions, as only the chosen victims could actually see and sense those. Number 4. Quick regeneration. While It was clearly not invulnerable, and in fact could be wounded and damaged in smaller or bigger degrees, It could almost spontaneously regenerate. It was unclear how it utilized its quick regeneration abilities, but it might be a necessarily corporeal ability. Number 5. Telepathic perception. It could read people's mind in its close vicinity. That was the ability it exploited mostly when It took a form, but in several cases, It could clearly read the Lucky Seven's thoughts and use them to its own advantage. Number 6. Telepathic communication. It could communicate telepathically, as seen in the scene of the library with the adult Ben Hanscom, or the Juniper Hill scene with Henry Bowers. Number 7. Mind control. It had the power of controlling several people's minds, even simultaneously. That also suggested that it had the ability to erase certain things out of people's memory or knowledge. People with weak wills seem to fall to its mind control ability very often. That mind control ability presumably had no effect on people outside Derry's boundaries. Number 8. Teleportation. It could teleport itself to limited distances by disappearing without a trace and reappearing somewhere else a little bit later. Although a very useful and effective ability, it didn't seem to exploit that too often. Number 9. Telekinesis. It could manipulate lifeless objects to fall, float around, and behave supernaturally. That included locking doors and electronic devices. Number 10. Acrobatic expertise. It also appeared to be an expert at gymnastics because after its head was cracked open, revealing the deadlights before being killed, it escaped by somersaulting over the Lucky Seven and disappeared down the sewer drain. Despite it seeing itself as a superior being, it was far from being almighty. Here are some of its weaknesses. Number 1. Physically sensitive. It was a physically sensitive entity, so courage and heart could overcome it, even in its most diabolical appearances. Once the losers were together, their strong will and the love for each other successfully overpowered it and its fiendish machinations. Their strong faith in their various methods of fighting eventually lead them to victory. Number 2. Vulnerability in shape-shifting. The novel stated that when it transformed into a shape, it must surrender to the laws of that shape. That clearly meant that it was not invulnerable, and its physical forms could bleed and could be significantly damaged and perhaps even destroyed. Number 3. Long hibernation period. It would only appear every 30 years, and it will went to hibernation for 26 to 27 years between the cycles. During that time, it may have been extremely vulnerable to surprise attacks. Since it has shape-shifting powers to scare the children of Derry, he has transformed into a number of things, which included the creature from the Black Lagoon, the werewolf, the mummy, the leper or a deceased homeless man, Beverly's abusive father, several disgusting items hidden in fortune cookies, including an eyeball, a bird fetus, a cockroach, and a set of teeth, a Doberman pinscher, a gas station attendant, the decomposing corpse of Patrick Hochstetter, the head of Stan Uris, full of feathers inside Mike's fridge, Beverly Marsh, the giant spider, which was its closest physical representation on Earth, and the last but not the least, the famous Pennywise the Dancing Clown. In the film, it is shown that it produced 10 body counts, excluding those who were killed in the novel. It, as Pennywise, was also known for his dark and humorous dialogue. Here are some of my favorite lines of Pennywise.
What's the matter? One balloon, not enough. Try a bitch! Silly boy, you still think you can see me? You'll never see me. You'll see only what your little mind can allow. Go! Now, for if you stay, you'll lose your little mind in my dead lights. Like all the others. Like all the others.
If you see...
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Overall, it is one of my favorite horror icons of all time, and he is included in my personal top 10 horror icons. I just love the way Pennywise looks, as he is perfect for a movie killer. Tim Curry really did a great job portraying the role of Pennywise. And even though Pennywise is only one of the many forms of it, but the Pennywise form has been one of the most creepiest and scariest killer in the horror industry. Now, for the upcoming readaptation of Stephen King's It, a trailer was just recently released, and I really like the trailer, and I hope Bill Skarsgård, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Skarsgård would do justice to the role of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. So that's gonna do it, guys, for this episode of Getting to Know a Horror Movie Icon, wherein we talk about and get to know It, which is popularly known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. And I'll see you on the next video, and always remember, they all float down there.